Hello students, back with another video, and this is basically a next session, belonging to module number 6 itself. Now there are few questions which we have already done in the previous video. Regular Falsi method was already covered there, but we took only the algebraic type of equation, not the transcendental. So today in this video, I'll try to cover a transcendental equation and few more other categories of questions here. Okay. So let's look at the question here. The question asks you to use regular Falsi method to find the roots of the equation x e raised to x minus cos x. Now the presence of exponential and cos term makes it transcendental. Also the question is not in the standard form. The standard form should be f of x is equal to 0. So you have two options here. One being you write f of x as x e raised to x minus cos x and then write it as equal to 0. Second option being you can write it as f of x as cos x minus x e raised to x and then call it as 0. Whichever way your answer is going to be the same, maybe the steps might differ a bit here and there. Now to begin with, in the regular Falsi method, you should know the interval in which you're going to work. So you require x1, x2. To find x1, x2, you are expected to find 2 points at which the function takes opposite signs. That is, one side it is positive and at the other point it should have a negative value. So let's begin with f of 0. So when I start with f of 0, the first term becomes 0 and I have a minus cos 0, which is negative 1. This is a negative point. I'll take f of 1. Now when I'm calculating f of 1, let's understand this 1 will be in radians. Or whenever we are dealing with, say, cosine, sine and things like that, if question is not mentioning, कहीं पे बोला नहीं गया है कि डिग्री लो, तो आप रेडियन में ही लेना है. ओके. सो मैंने मेरा कैल्सी ऑलरेडी रेडियन में फिक्स कर दिया है. अगर आपने नहीं किया है तो आप रेडियन मोड में फिक्स कर दीजिएगा. ओके. सो लेट्स कैलकुलेट नाउ. फर्स्ट टर्म अपना हो जाएगा 1 e रेज टू 1 माइनस कॉस ऑफ 1. सो कैलकुलेटर में कैलकुलेट करेंगे. सो 1 इंटू e रेज टू 1 minus cos of 1. So that's going to give me 2.1780. So we can see this answer is positive. Okay. So we got a positive and negative value and therefore we say the root lies between 0 and 1. So the answer will be between 0 and 1. Okay. So we start with the first iteration, which has x1 as 0 and f of x1, which we found as negative 1. X2 is 1 and f of x2 is 2.1780. The method is regular Falsi. We will mention the name and of course we'll not only mention the name, we need to write the formula. So x3 is equal to cross multiplication, it is x1 into f of x2, x2 into f of x1 and f of x2 minus f of x1. So it goes like this, then like this and then like this. Okay. And I'll call this as equation 1. So हमको बार बार फॉर्मूला लिखने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी. हम इसी फॉर्मूला को रिपीट मोड में यूज करेंगे फ्रॉम इक्वेशन 1 बोल के. ओके. सो यहाँ पे वैल्यू सब्स्टिट्यूट करने के बाद x1 की जगह 0 है तो फर्स्ट टर्म पूरा 0 हो जाएगा. सेकेंड टर्म हो जाएगा नेगेटिव ऑफ 1 इंटू -1, तो ये प्लस हो जाएगा. डिनोमिनेटर में 2.1780 अगेन माइनस माइनस प्लस होके 1 बचेगा. So let's use the calculator now. So calculator में I'm getting 1 divided by 1 plus 2.1780. So the answer is in decimals 0.3147. My calculator is fixed to 4 decimal. Okay. Now I need to calculate f of x or f x3. So let's calculate f of x3. So ये जो मेरा answer है into e raised to the answer, because question में यही है ना formula, minus cos of the answer. Okay. सो ये ऑटोमेटिकली 0.3147 हर जगह पे डाल देगा. So the answer is negative 0.5199. Now the answer is negative. It means x3 will replace x1. x3 will replace x1. And now for my second iteration, I would have x1 getting replaced by x3. तो 0.3147 हो जाएगी इसकी value. And f of x1 will be replaced by f of x3, मतलब negative 0.5199. x2 will remain the same, which is 1, and f of x2 will also remain the same, which is 2.1780. So let's use equation number 1. So I'll just write here from equation number 1. Okay, we don't write the formula again and again. x3 used to be called cross multiplication, so 0.3147 multiplied by 2.1780 plus हो जाएगा यहाँ पे 1 times 0.5199 and denominator में होगा 2.1780 plus 0.5199. So let's go back here. I'll use the history and इसको थोड़ा सा modify करेंगे. Denominator में ये value है मेरी 0.5199. आगे पीछे लिखने से फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा, प्लस साइन ही है. ओके, न्यूमरेटर को थोड़ा सा मॉडिफाई करेंगे. 0.3147 multiplied by 2.1780 plus 1 into 0.5199. So the answer is 0.4468. Again, we'll calculate f of x3. मतलब ये वैल्यू आपको फंक्शन में डालनी है. फंक्शन is answer times e raised to answer minus cos of the answer. So जब ये डालेंगे तो 0.41 वो जो वैल्यू 44 जो आया था वो ले लेगा यहाँ पे. ओके, सो नेगेटिव 0.2035. अगेन नेगेटिव आया है वैल्यू, सो यू विल रिप्लेस, so x3 will replace x1. So again we'll calculate this third iteration now. Now for the third iteration, x1 की जगह पे x3 की वैल्यू that is 0.4468. f of x1 की जगह पे f of x3 की वैल्यू that is negative 0.2035. x2 की जगह पे 1 है, f of x2 की जगह पे वही वैल्यू है 2.1780. अगेन फ्रॉम इक्वेशन 1 लिख देंगे. ओके, I may not write the equation now. See how I'm going to use a calculator. हिस्ट्री में जाके सिर्फ वैल्यूज चेंज करेंगे. ठीक है, 2.1780 एज इट इज है. 5 पॉइंट इसकी जगह पे मेरी वैल्यू अब है 0.2035. न्यूमरेटर में भी ये 5199 की जगह पे 2035. आगे बढ़ के उसके साथ मल्टीप्लाइड है 1 अगेन एंड ये एज इट इज इसकी जगह पे आ जाएगा 0.4468. So now let's calculate 0.4941. So you don't need to show the steps here, okay? अब इसके बाद f of x3. So f of x3 is answer times e raised to the answer minus cos of the answer. So the answer is negative 0.0706. Again, it's negative, so x3 replaces x1. Let's move to the fourth iteration. The question has given us some tips. We are expected to use that only. Okay. So I'll tell you how to stop and when to stop. Okay. Fourth iteration पे move करेंगे. x1 की जगह पे x3 की वैल्यू that is 0.4941. f of x1 की जगह पे f of x3 की वैल्यू that is negative 0.0706. x2 की वैल्यू सेम रहेगी, f of x2 की वैल्यू भी अगेन सेम ही रहेगी. कैलकुलेटर यूज करेंगे एंड आप एरो की यूज करके हिस्ट्री में चले जाओगे। 2.1780 में कोई चेंजेस नहीं करना है। यहाँ पे आपको चेंज करना है 0.0706। न्यूमरेटर में 2 पॉइंट वाले की जगह पे 0.0706 फर्स्ट वैल्यू हो जाएगी 4941। 4941। So let's calculate 0.5100. So from equation 1, I get x3 is equal to 0.5100. Again, इसकी वैल्यू कैलकुलेट करनी है। आंसर टाइम्स e raised to the answer minus cos of the answer. That's going to give me oh. Okay, so it is some error. Okay, this should have been below. So negative 0.0235. I think this has taken the previous answer. Okay. So to avoid the problems, I'll put 0.5100 and press equal to. This is my answer now. Okay. And then I'll do it. Answer times e raised to the answer minus cos of the answer. Yeah, 0.0234. So f of x3 is negative 0.0234. Okay. So x3 replaces x1 again because of the negative sign. So let's go for the fifth iteration. X1 will become 0.5100. F of x1 will become, okay, let me cross check it again because I think there was some mistake which we did. So 0.5100 into shift e raised to 0.5100 नहीं लिखा तो भी चलेगा, negative cos of 0.51. Yeah, it's the same. Okay. So negative 0.0234. X2 remains 1 and f of x2 will be 2.1780. Again, using equation number 1. And I'll of course use the history in the calculator. I think I did press on. Yeah. Okay, so I have to type it all over again. So 0.5100 multiplied by 2.1780 plus, because of the cross multiplication, 1 times I may not write, 0.0234. Denominator is 2.1780 plus 0.0234. Okay, so this is 0.5152. So x3 is 0.5152. Let's calculate f of x3. So answer into e raised to the answer minus cos of the answer. So that's negative 0.0077. Again, negative value. So x3 replaces x1. Now I think it's a sixth iteration. So x1 is 0.5100. F of x1, okay, not 5152. Negative 0.0077. X2 remains 1 and f of x2 remains 2.1780. Equation number 1. I would get x3 is equal to, let's use a calculator, history this time. Okay, I have 0077 replacing this. And here also 0077 replacing this. 5152 replacing these two things. And we get 0.5169. And let's calculate f of x3. So negative 0.0026. So again, x3 is going to replace x1. Let's move to the seventh iteration. We'll continue till we don't get three decimals same. We've got two decimals same, 0.51 is the same, previous and the next. But then yes, we need to get three decimals same. So x1 is 0.5169. x2 is, sorry, f of x1 here. Negative 0.0026. x2 is 1 and f of x2 is 2.1780. Again, using equation 1, x3 would be, let's use the calculator history. So this is replaced by 26. Numerator again, 26. And this side I have 69. So that's 0.5282. Okay, I think I will place it correctly. Yeah, 0.5282. Okay. F of x3. So that's going to be answer into e raised to the answer minus cos of the answer. So that gives me a 0.33, sorry, 0.0321. I think I'll check the previous calculation once again. 0.5169 multiplied by 2, 0.21780 plus 0.0026. Okay, that was a mistake. So you'll have to be careful. Okay, it's 0.5175. This is 0.5175. Okay, so now answer into e raised to the answer minus cos of the answer. That's negative 0.0003. How did I come to know there's a mistake? Okay, see the values of x3 may not be exactly the same, but then f of x3 is decreasing. The decimals are, increasing 0.00. So all of a sudden, after 0.0026, my value increased. So f of x3 is of course showing a trend. It is decreasing. No? So that's where I came to know I had to check my previous calculation. So my calculation was a mistake and therefore it was increasing. And when I put the correct value, it decreased. It did decrease. So that's what was the sign which you need to check. So yeah, x3 again replaces x1. Let's calculate the eighth iteration. And we'll get x1 is 0.5175. F of x1 will be negative 0.0009. x2 is 1 again, and f of x2 is 2.1780. And we'll use equation number 1. I'll have x3 is equal to, let's use a calculator history. So let's replace this by 0.0009. Again, in the numerator, I'll replace by 0.0009. And here, this will be replaced by 75. So 0.5177. Okay, so the good news is we got three decimals are same. You can see here previous value and the next value, 3 decimals are same, so we stop here. So the required root is 0.5177. Okay, because the 3 decimals are same, we had to stop here. So yes, the questions could be lengthy as this. The questions could be short. They can ask you just to stop after 3 iterations, 4 iterations. So it depends on what is asked in the question. You might have like, if the question is long, of course the marks will be more. Okay. So this was your question on regular Falsi method. This was a transcendental equation. I hope the question is clear. Now this is another question, Maclaurin series, a little tricky one. Requires little work in the start. Why does it require a little work in the start? Because if I don't work in the start on f of x, my f dash and f double dash and so on will become little complicated. Okay. So let's work on this. So my root of 1 plus sine x, root of 1 plus sine x, I would write it as sine square x by 2 plus cos square x by 2. Now observe, this is nothing but your replacement for 1. 1 is the addition of these two, right? Plus 2 sine x by 2 and cos x by 2. Now here the formula used in the second term is sine 2 theta. Okay, I've used sine 2 theta is 2 sine theta cos theta. So when your theta is replaced by x, so no, 2 theta is replaced by x. So theta becomes x by 2. So left hand side becomes x and right hand side becomes x by 2. That's the substitution done. I hope things are clear. Now what you got under the root over here is nothing but your a square plus b square plus 2ab. You can observe. So I can write this as a plus b, the whole square. Now the whole square and the root gets cancelled and you are left with sine x by 2 plus cos x by 2. Let's call this as our f of x. Let us call this as our f of x. Now the question asks you to expand it up to the term x raised to 4. So you're expected to find 4 derivatives. So we'll start with f dash. The derivative of sine is cos. And because of this x by 2 by chain rule, I'll get a 1 by 2. Derivative of cos is negative sine. And because of the x by 2 by chain rule, I'll get a 1 by 2 again. Let's calculate the double derivative. Cos is negative sine. And I already have a 1 by 2 and 1 by 2 will again come. So 1 by 4. This negative 1 by 2 as it is, sine has derivative cos x by 2. Again multiplied by 1 by 2 will give me a 1 by 4 here. Triple dash. Negative 1 by 4 as it is, derivative of sine is cos. And one more 1 by 2, that will become 1 by 8. And here this will become positive because cos derivative is positive sine and this will again give me 1 by 8. Sorry, cos derivative is negative, so this becomes plus. We take the fourth order with derivative, which is the last derivative required. Cos derivative will be negative sign, so this will become plus 1 by 16 because of the chain rule. And derivative is sine, not cos. And this will become again plus 1 by 16 cos x by 2. So we found the fourth order derivatives and let's calculate, because it's Maclaurin series, I need to calculate f of 0, f dash of 0, f double dash of 0, triple dash at 0 and fourth order at 0. So when I calculate these derivatives, so the sine term always will be 0 because sine 0 is 0, cos 0 will be 1. The second term will give me a 1 by 2 because of cos 0 being 1 and sine is already cancelled out. So wherever you have sine, no, all of these will become 0. इन सब की वैल्यूज आपको 0 ही आने वाली, ठीक है. तो कैलकुलेशन हमको सिर्फ कॉस वाले पार्ट का करना है. तो यहाँ पे नेगेटिव 1 by 4 आ जाएगा, यहाँ पे नेगेटिव 1 by 8 और यहाँ पे प्लस 1 by 16. Okay, I hope This is clear 1/16 है. Okay, so अब Maclaurin series use करेंगे. So Maclaurin series का formula f of x is equal to f of 0 plus x f dash of 0 x square by 2 factorial f double dash of 0 x cube by 3 factorial triple dash x raised to 4 by 4 factorial and fourth dash. It actually goes up to further, but then we require it only up to x raised to 4. Okay, so we may write Maclaurin series up to x raised to 4. Okay, now let's substitute the values here. So f of 0 की जगह पे 1, x as it is, f dash की जगह पे 1 by 2, x square by 2 हो जाएगा ये, and multiplied by negative 1 by 4, x cube by 6 हो जाएगा ये, and multiplied by negative 1 by 8, x raised to 4 by 24 हो जाएगा ये, and multiplied by 1 by 16. So let's calculate. I'll have 1 plus x by 2, negative x square by 8, negative x cube by 48, and ये थोड़ा सा कैलसी यूज करना पड़ेगा. So 24 into 16, that gives me 384. So yeah, this into 3, oh sorry, divide by 384. So yes, this is your answer for the required question. I hope the question was clear. The only trick was the expansion. So expansion में 1 का formula use किया है as sin square theta plus cos square theta, and x by 2 इसीलिए लिया because sin x है, तो उसको half angle formula use किया है. Okay, moving on to the next question. First I'll take the Gauss-Seidel one and then Taylor series, because Taylor series पे अब तक कोई video series नहीं बना है. So Taylor series पूरा scratch से explain करूंगी मैं यहाँ पे, and that I'll try to put it into the next video so that एक complete thing साथ में हो जाएगा. गॉस सीडल वाला ये क्वेश्चन देख लेते हैं. गॉस सीडल कब अप्लाई कर सकते हैं आप? गॉस सीडल या गॉस जैकोबी दोनों के लिए आपको डायगोनल डोमिनेंट चाहिए मैट्रिक्स. ओके, लेट मी जस्ट चेक दिस क्वेश्चन बिकॉज मुझे यहाँ पे 30z भी दिख रहा है. एक मिनट, आई थिंक आई मेड सम मिस्टेक in copying the question. Okay, it's not 30z, it's 3z. Yeah. So if it was 30z, तो ये question गॉस सीडल से सॉल्व नहीं होता था. Okay, so it is 3z here. Fine. Diagonal dominant है question. तो आप डायरेक्टली लिखोगे x is equal to 1 by 15, 18 minus 2y minus z, and y is equal to 1 by 20, 19 plus 3z minus 2x, and z would be equal to 1 by 25, 22 minus 3x plus 6y. Now remember, as I said before also, हमेशा सारे same denominator आएंगे नहीं. लास्ट टाइम जो हमने एग्जाम्पल किया था उसमें सारे डिनोमिनेटर सेम थे. यहाँ पे डिनोमिनेटर्स अलग है, 15, 20 एंड 25. ओके, सो लेट्स सी गॉस सीडल का स्टेप नंबर 1 या आइटरेशन नंबर 1. गॉस सीडल एंड जैकोबी में यही फर्क होता है कि आप यहाँ पे फ्रेशेस्ट वैल्यू लेते हो हमेशा. ठीक है, स्टार्ट तो हमेशा इसी से करोगे कि y 0 एंड इसको अलग अलग इक्वेशंस लेंगे, इक्वेशन 1, 2 एंड 3. ठीक है, तो अब इक्वेशन नंबर 1 में आई put y 0 and x z 0 in equation 1. So let's do that, and we'll get x is equal to 18 by 15. Let me keep the calculator open here. Okay, so I have 18 divided by 15. So in the decimal form it's 1.2. 1.2. Now first iteration is not completed. We need to put the values of z and x in equation number 2. So this time I'll put z, x का freshest value, x is equal to 1.2, and z of course no new value is there, and I'll put this in equation number 2. इक्वेशन नंबर 2 में डालने के बाद मुझे मिलेगा y इज इक्वल टू 1/20 टाइम्स 19 माइनस 0 माइनस 2 टाइम्स 1.2. सो ये कैलसी में डाल देंगे. सो आई हैव 19 minus 0, okay, 0, minus 2 into 1.2 and denominator में 20 है. So in decimal it is 0.83. Okay, y मिल गया, x मिल गया, z ढूंढना है. I'll put the freshest value. So I'll put y as 0.83 and x की freshest value में plus 1.2 है in equation number 3. So I will now get z is equal to 22 minus 3 into 1.2 plus 6 into 0.83 divided by 25. So let's put this in the calculator again. 22 minus 3 into 1.2 plus 6 into 0.83 divided by 25. So 0.9352, that's my value of z. This completes the first iteration when you found one values of each x, y, and z. So let's now move to the second iteration. In the second iteration, we start with x and we put the values, freshest values of y and z there. So we put y is 0.83 and z is 0.9352 in equation 1. So I get x is equal to 1/15 था यहाँ पे. That's what I remember. And 18 minus 2y minus z. So 18 minus 2 times 0.83 minus z. So let's use a calculator. Numerator has 18 minus 2 into 0.83 minus 0.9352 divided by 15. That gives me 1.026. No, 70 like this. 1.0270. Because it's recurring, it doesn't give you the perfect answer. Let's now put these fresh values in equation 2. So I'll put x is equal to 1.0270 and z is equal to 0.9352 in equation 2. Now equation 2 had a denominator 20. I have already typed that equation. Okay, yeah. So replace करना है. ओके ये मेरी x की वैल्यू है यहाँ पे 2 times x मतलब 1.0270 and z की जगह पे यहाँ पे 0.9352. ओके सो 0.8005. या यू शुड चेक आसपास ही आ रहा है ना आंसर तो कुछ गलती नहीं है. 0.800. Let's put the fresh values now of x and y to calculate z. So I'll put x is equal to 1.0270 and y the freshest value 0.8005 in equation number 3. So let's calculate z again using the history from calculator. Z had denominator 25 here. This was 6 times y. So 0.8005 and this is x that is 1.0270. So that's 0.9489. Okay, so let's move to the next one. Third iteration. So the third iteration is okay, and the question tells you to stop at third iteration. Okay, we are expected to stop at third iteration. So this will be the last iteration which we'll do. So I'll put y and z. So y is 0.8005 and z, the freshest value, is 0.9489. In equation number 1, let's use our calculator history, denominator 15 wala equation. Okay. 0.93 wala will be replaced by 9489 and 0.83 वाले को replace करेंगे 0.8005 से. बाकी सब सेम रहेगा. आंसर 1.03. So x is 1.03. अब ये वैल्यूज डालेंगे हम इक्वेशन नंबर 2 में. तो x की जगह पे 1.03, z वही रहेगा 0.9489 in equation number 2. Okay. Denominator 20 वाला इक्वेशन ये रहा. ये 1 पॉइंट वाला जो है वो x से रिप्लेस होगा, 0.3 हो जाएगा यहाँ पे. एंड ये 0.93 वाला जो है वो z को रिप्लेस करेगा, 489. Everything else will remain the same, 0.7996. And lastly, we'll put these values, that x as 1.03 and y as 0.7996 in equation number 3. Okay. So denominator 25 equation from the history. Replace this 8 wala term with 7996. Replace the 1 point term with 1.03. So 0.9483. And the question has asked you to stop up to 3 iterations. So your final answer would be the approximate values are x, y, z equals to x, the latest I got is 1.03, y, the latest I got is 0.7996, and z is 0.94683. Okay, we can always cross check the answer. I'll go to mode equations. I'll take the second one. Let's input the values here. The values are 15, 2, 1, and 18 on the right hand side. Then you have a 2, then a 20, and a negative 3, and 19. Then you have a 3, okay, negative 6. Then you have 25, and lastly 22. So the answer is 1 for x. X was near to 1, 1.03 we got. Y is also 1 and Z is also 1. So, okay, no problem. We got the answers nearer. Like, I think X and Z were very much close. Y is a bit far away. Not an issue. Whatever we got, that's after the 3 approximations. Okay, we could have continued with the approximations and we could have gone much more closer to the values. One thing to understand here is bigger the denominator. Like, यहाँ पे denominators छोटे छोटे 15, 20, 25. जितना डिनोमिनेटर बड़ा हो जाएगा उतने वैल्यूज फटाफट क्लोजर जाते हैं. जितना डिनोमिनेटर छोटा होता है उतने वैल्यूज स्लोली नजदीक जाते हैं. Okay, so we'll stop here, and next video I'll take up Taylor series expansion. That's the last topic which is remaining. Okay, thank you, students.